Welcome to The Other Goal, stories beyond the scoreboard, where sports meets soul.
There are just some moments in football, right, where a player does something.
Yeah.
It just makes you stop and watch.
Yeah.
And for me, that Barcelona versus InterMilan first leg, the Champions League semi, that 3-3 draw, wow.
Oh, what a game that was. Absolutely electric.
And smack in the middle of it all, you just couldn't ignore the sheer brilliance of Lamine Yamal, Barcelona's young winger.
No, you really couldn't. And we've actually pulled together quite a bit of material to really dig into his performance in that specific match. We're looking at stuff from talkSPORT, The Guardian.
Okay.
Some really detailed YouTube breakdowns from Beanyman and voltSports. Plus, the fan reactions on Reddit or Barca, soccer, even the Intersub, RFC InterMilan.
Right. So the idea today isn't just like repeating the headlines. We want to get into the nuts and bolts, the specifics of what made Yamal so special that night.
Exactly.
We're talking technique, tactical awareness, the actual impact of what 17-year-old had on a massive Champions League game.
A semifinal, no less.
Okay, let's really get into it then. Starting with, I guess, the history he made just by being on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. Both the talkSPORT and Guardian pieces really hammer this home. He hit this huge milestone, youngest player to get 100 appearances for Barcelona.
At 17 years and 291 days.
That's the one! Beat Xavi's record. And just think, Messi at that same age, he'd played, 7 times for the first team, only started 2.
That's incredible context.
Yeah.
It just shows how central Yamal's become and how quickly.
Oh, absolutely integral.
And then, okay, the goal. The one after about 24 minutes, it wasn't just bringing Barca back into it, was it? It was another record.
Exactly. As the reports all confirmed, that amazing solo run and finish. Youngest ever scorer in a Champions League semifinal.
Wow.
He beat Kylian Mbappe's record from 2017, so 2 massive records in one game for someone his age. It just screams potential, doesn't it?
It really does. And the voltSports analysis flagged that as like the moment that really sparked Barcelona's comeback too.
Yeah, the turning point.
But he didn't stop there. He nearly did it again moments later. Hit the bar, and then hit the woodwork a second time later on.
So close to being an even more historic night, if that's possible.
Right. And what I found interesting beyond the shooting was how he impacted the game in other ways, like that assist.
Yeah.
Well, the move that led to the own goal.
Oh, yeah. The Guardian picked up on that little dummy, letting the ball run through his legs for Rafinha's shot.
So clever.
That's the thing. The vision, the calmness in that kind of pressure cooker, so rare for his age. It just shows, real maturity.
Okay, so we've got the history, the impact on the scoreboard. Let's get technical. What did the YouTube analyses say about how he did it? What stood out skill-wise?
Well, the Bibinard breakdown probably went deep on his dribbling, right? Taking on multiple players. And it's not just pace, is it? It's that super close control, the little feints, changing direction so quickly. He just manipulates defenders to create that half yard he needs. And Football Made Simple pointed out his crossing really dangerous crosses. And crucially, they noted he does it really well, even off his supposedly weaker foot.
Which makes him so hard to defend, right? You can't just force him one way.
Nightmare for fullbacks. And apparently, his positioning off the ball was causing Inter all sorts of headaches, too.
How so?
Football Made Simple highlighted how he kept drifting inside, finding those pockets of space, between Inter's midfield and defense.
Right, in the channel or centrally.
Exactly. So he's a constant threat there, pulling defenders towards him, which then, creates space elsewhere for others. That's smart football, really advanced tactical thinking.
Knowing where to be.
And plus, his ability, as I mentioned, to still get down the line, get to the byline, and whip those crosses in, it gives Barca options.
Did you see that little anecdote from voltSports about him saying, "Show me your number," to a defender?
Yeah, I did. It's a tiny detail, maybe, but it says a lot, doesn't it?
Confidence.
Just total self-belief. In that environment, almost like a playful challenge, can definitely unsettle an opponent.
And it clearly wasn't just us or the analysts noticing. The reactions from other players, even the opposition, pretty amazing.
Oh, totally. Erling Haaland just tweeting, "This guy is incredible." Simple, but coming from him. That's big. talkSPORT picked that up.
Yeah.
But maybe even more powerful are the quotes from the Inter side. Alessandro Bastoni, the defender who had to mark him.
Tough job that night.
Right. He called Yamal incredible, probably the strongest winger in the world, and then added, sometimes you just have to say, well done. That's huge respect from an opponent right after the game.
Wow. And Simone Inzaghi, the Inter manager, his comments were pretty striking too.
Weren't they just? talkSPORT and The Guardian both quoted him, called Yamal a talent that is born every 50 years, a phenomenon.
50 years.
And he admitted tactically they had to double, triple up on Yamal. That shows you the specific problem Yamal posed to their game plan.
That really says it all, doesn't it? When the opposition manager openly says they had to change their whole defensive shape just for one teenager.
It absolutely underlines the impact. It shows he wasn't just having moments. He was fundamentally disrupting how Inter wanted to play.
And inevitably, the big comparisons started flying around. Scott Minto on talkSPORT brought up Messi.
Yeah, the Messi comparison. Always huge, especially at Barcelona. Loads of pressure with that one.
But even his own coach, Hansi Flick, after that 100th appearance, The Guardian reported him calling Yamal special a genius.
Yeah, and these are guys, Flick, Inzaghi, Bastoni, who've seen it all in football. For them to use words like genius, phenomena, incredible about a 17-year-old, it's not just hype, it's genuine recognition of something extraordinary.
And the fans online, Reddit must have been buzzing.
Oh yeah, right, soccer or Barca. You saw words like gem, different level of prospect. Some were already talking, future Ballon d'Or. Well, yeah. It captures that excitement, that feeling people get when they see someone who looks like the real deal doing it on the biggest stage. You feel like you're watching the start of something massive.
So tactically, beyond just doubling or tripling up, how did Inter try and stop him? What did the analysis suggest?
Well, like Inzaghi said, it was mainly about numbers, trying to deny him space, especially out wide, stop him getting those one-on-one situations where he's so dangerous.
Trying to box him in.
Exactly. And the Football Made Simple analysis kind of suggested that sometimes Barca's plan was pretty simple. Just get the ball to Lamine and let him cook.
Let him make something happen.
Pretty much. Which, again, shows how central he was to their approach.
Did the Bernard analysis mention anything about him maybe slowing down a bit in the second half? I thought I saw that point made.
Yeah, that's a good point. They suggested he might have tired a bit, which, let's be honest, is completely understandable.
Okay.
The intensity he plays at. Maintaining that for 90 minutes in a Champions League semi at 17, that's a huge ask. So maybe focusing a bit more on passing, conserving energy, rather than those constant explosive dribbles later on.
Which could also be seen as smart game management, right? Adapting.
Absolutely. Shows intelligence, knowing you can't just run through brick walls for the whole game.
So look, it's overwhelmingly positive, obviously. But did any of the sources, maybe Reddit or Volt Sports, offer any, counterpoints or words of caution?
Yeah, definitely. On Volt Soccer, there was that debate. Is he already top 5 in the world, or is he still this incredible prospect who needs to show it week in, week out? Consistency is key at the elite level.
True. Sustained excellence.
And Volt Sports did offer that valuable reminder, didn't they? About not getting too carried away with hype around young players. That they mentioned past examples where massive early promise didn't quite lead to, legendary status.
It's a fair point. Managing expectations is important, both for him and for everyone watching. And the physical side must be a concern, too.
For sure. That came up on the Reddit threads as well. Managing his minutes, his workload. He's played so much intense football already for Barca, for Spain.
Yeah.
You've got to protect him, avoid that burnout risk, finding that balance between playing him because he's brilliant and ensuring he stays fit long term.
Yeah.
That's crucial.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive on Lamine Yamal against Inter, what are the main things we and you listening should take away?
I think the big picture is just, wow. A genuinely sensational performance from a kid who broke records while doing it. His technical ability, the dribbling, the control, crossing with both feet, it's all there.
Yeah.
Plus the tactical smarts, the fearlessness.
Yeah.
It was all on display. And he directly changed the game, scored one, made another, hit the post twice. Huge impact.
And the reaction, right? From Haaland, Bastoni, Inzaghi, Flick, the fans. It just confirms that this wasn't a fluke. We're seeing something genuinely special here, even at this incredibly young age.
Exactly. And while, you need to manage his development carefully, the potential is just immense. This performance showed he's not just one for the future, he's influencing massive games now. He was dictating tactics against one of Europe's best teams.
It really was a glimpse, wasn't it? A glimpse of what could be an absolutely stellar career.
No doubt about it.
So thinking about everything we've dug into here, the technical skills, the records, the sheer impact, what heights do you think Lamine Yamal can actually reach? And maybe more importantly, what are the key things that will decide whether he gets there or not? Definitely one to keep a very close eye on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
You've been listening to The Other Goal, because the greatest victories don't always happen on the field.